Hello everyone, Ryan here. Batman Nightwalker by Mary Lou. This is another audiobook I listened to during the month of October. I had mentioned in my wrap-up that I was going to do a separate review of it. And this is said review. So anyways, Batman Nightwalker, it's part of this thing which is called like DC Icons or something like that. And there's a number of authors, and I want to say they are YA authors, or at least they have some experience with writing YA novels, young adult novels. So this one, it's supposed to be like a retelling of Batman, of his origins. Of course, it doesn't focus on when Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. I mean, there is some mention of it, but it doesn't focus on that. And that's one of the things I liked about this. I mean, because a lot of people, I mean, let's face it, if you don't know who Batman is, and not only that, but especially if you don't know how his parents died, then I suggest you go look that up right now. Because I mean, it's been done so many times. It's been shown so many times in so many movies, in the comic books, graphic novels, various animated series, and whatnot. So yeah, I like that. You know, it doesn't focus a lot on that, but again, there is some mention of it. What this does focus on is it takes place sometime pretty much, well, the bulk of the story happens after Bruce Wayne's 18th birthday. In fact, on the night of his 18th birthday party, Bruce Wayne, he gets involved and he follows these criminals, chases after them in his car. And, you know, I guess that's supposed to be like the beginning of when he gets a taste for going after bad guys or something like that. And but he gets stopped by the cops, and pretty much like he almost ends up making a huge mess of everything. So instead of, I guess in lieu of jail time, he has to do community service, and he's ordered to go to Arkham Asylum to do community service, and he's just supposed to be like, I guess, some kind of temporary janitor or something like that. And then eventually he meets this girl who goes by the name Madeline, and pretty much this is where like the YA aspect comes in, because this is where he gets some kind of like crush on her, or he's infatuated with her. It seems to be because, you know, before that, you know, he hadn't met any other girl or woman quite like her, for good reason. I mean, because, you know, she's in Arkham Asylum for a good reason. Even though she like lies to him, she's pretty much like a very convincing liar. And I guess it's like his first time. It's supposed to be, I mean, as far as this novel is concerned, the audiobook is concerned, it's supposed to be his first time encountering, you know, any kind of female who is a very convincing liar. And it's, but yeah, so, you know, regardless, he becomes infatuated with her. And I mean, I won't give away too many details, but I will say that it does turn out that she is much more involved in his life, or rather in, I guess, his family's life, than he like originally believed. Or yeah, I don't know how else to say it without giving a lot away. But I guess I can say that she is also a part of this group that calls themselves the Nightwalkers, and they paint themselves out to be like this like vigilante group that are, on the side of justice or whatever, but realistically they're not, and they just like get carried away with trying to get revenge on pretty much just different authority figures, I guess, who have wronged them. And so, yeah, they're not really that much of a vigilante group. And then, of course, later on in this audiobook, Bruce Wayne, he does eventually, like, don this outfit, which, the way it's described, does seem to be, like, very similar to what would eventually become Batman's costume or outfit. But as far as this goes, since it's like the first time he wears anything like that, it's supposed to be like more of a prototype suit of armor kind of thing or something like that. And the way it's explained, it actually made me really interested in like wanting to see an actual picture of it. And yeah, I don't know, because the way it's described, like the character Lucius, he's in this. If you don't know who that is, again, just look it up. But he's the guy that I guess originally created a lot of stuff for Wayne Enterprises. Most of it being like tactical kind of stuff, like gear and weapons, armor, vehicles, and whatnot. So the guy Lucius, he's the one that, at least in this story, he creates a prototype for what would eventually become Batman's regular suit or costume. So yeah, and he describes it as being like this like armor which is kind of like chainmail, but like microscopic chainmail like stuff embedded in it, or I don't know. It's explained a lot better in the audiobook. And as far as action goes, I mean, since it is a Batman story novel, there's not a whole lot of action in this. There is some, but yeah, I would say this is like, I mean, compared to like other Batman stuff I've read, graphic novels and other stories, this one has the least amount of action. It's more of a thriller, really, like more like kind of psychological thriller, suspenseful kind of thing. So not a whole lot of action. The biggest like action part or whatever is towards the end, and I won't give that away, but it is interesting. Ultimately, I mean, I found it to be engaging, at least slightly intriguing. Yeah, it seemed to be well written too. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess the only complaint I have is that there's really not a whole lot of action in it. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless. So overall, I guess I would give it a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, 4 out of 5. So, there, that does it for my review of this audiobook, Batman Nightwalker by Mary Lou. Yeah. So that does it. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace. Hello, everyone.